why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show. What's going on, everybody? Everybody, welcome to the live podcast. Don't wait to be great. I am your host, Derek Forston, known as Mr. ILF. Let's do a quick microphone check. I want to just make sure that you guys can hear me okay. So if one or two of you just tell me in the chat that you can hear me, I just want to make sure that sometime we'll get started and I'll just start running my big mouth and you guys can't hear me. So just want to make sure that you all are able to hear me loud and clear. As I said, my name is Derek Forston. I come out of the Orlando, Florida area, and my sole job is to show you guys how to start your own housing program, which what we refer to as independent living facilities. So we're going to talk about a little bit of what's the difference between an ILF and your traditional group home model. So if you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up or say something in the chat. Let me know, and that'll let me know that you guys can hear me. Other than that, also put in the chat where you guys are located, right? I love to kind of do a little bit of networking in here. So put in the chat where you're located, where you're from, what city and state, and then we can reference some of the stuff towards you. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually get some stuff set up here. And I don't see anything in the chat yet, so that always makes me a little nervous. So if you're in here and you can see me, if you can hear me, make sure you let me know in the chat, because if I'm coming through muted, I don't want to waste y'all time or mine. So let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. All right, then I'm going to pull some of my slides up. And also, if you guys have any questions about how to get started, let me know. I'm going to check the chat. So somebody's here from Houston, Texas. Perfect. And they can hear me loud and clear. Perfect. That's what I really needed. I wanted to make sure that you guys can hear me. So again, let's go ahead and get started. So tonight's topic again is what makes the ILF model different from a group home. So what I'm going to do is I always like to start out with the definition of what an ILF is, right? I never like to take for granted that people just know who we are and what we do. So an ILF, guys, for us stands for Independent Living Facility. And that is simply an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So just to show you guys a little bit in terms of what it looks like, this is what it looks like, right? So for a private room for us, this is what that private room may look like, where it's one person per room. Now we also have a model to where there's 2 beds per room, and that's what most people see when we talk about it. But there's actually 3 different models in this one model, right? So one model is the shared model, which is the 2 beds per room. The next model is what we would call the private suite, and then that next model is what we would just call the private room. Now obviously that private suite is the one that's got the bathroom attached to it. So what you guys see on the screen now is, again, that 2 beds per room, right? There was that 1 bed per room, and again, that 1 bed per room. So again, the only difference between maybe that one and this one is this one actually has a bathroom. So we call this one the private suite. So one more time, in the independent living facility model, which does not require a license, you do not have to own the property. You do not have to hire staff, and there's no state requirements. So that's the cheat code for starting your own housing program. Many of you all were just like me years ago, right? Wanting to get started with something like this, but just simply didn't know where to start. That was me over 8 years ago. And to God actually showed me a lady, man, that was making $41,000 a month doing this. And the difference is, again, is exactly what the title says. She didn't run group homes, y'all. She ran just what I'm gonna call what we call it today, which is a shared housing model. Although they called them group homes back then, but what I know today as a group home is a licensed facility, right? That you have to have a license for, that you have to get permission from your state for, right? That you have to hire staff, right? All of these red tapes and hula hoops that you have to go through at times, that's not what an independent living facility is. And again, the reason why they're different is because of the acronym. The ILF, the I stands for independent. And an ALF, that stands for assisted. So the people that we serve, they don't need my help. They don't need me cooking their food. They don't need me providing transportation, and they absolutely don't need me trying to hand out their medications. Because remember, guys, I'm not a nurse. My background is social work. So we tell everybody the requirements for this is a big heart for people and the love for God. Because no matter what you call this, or no matter kind of what you've seen or other people call it, all this really is, ladies and gentlemen, is social services, the love of God, and real estate all mixed into one. So we often tell people that if you love God, if you love people, and if you love real estate, you're in the absolute right place, because this is where we show you guys how to merge all of these things together. Again, the love of God, the love for real estate, and the love for wanting to help people, right? Because no matter where you live in all 50 states, guys, homelessness is a problem, and affordability when it comes to housing is a problem. So why not you in terms of being the answer? So can three of y'all type in the chat, why not me? Because again, if you desire to help people and you like real estate and you naturally got the love of God in you, right? This is going to work. Other than you going to open up your own church and start your own congregation, you show me something that's better than where you can do the will of God, be involved in real estate, still helping people, but also making enough money to feed your family. Because that's another mantra and something that we live by. We want to please God. We want to help people. We want to be respected by the community. But I also want y'all to make enough money to feed your family, right? The Bible also says that a man don't work, he don't eat, right? So again, you're going to notice real fast that I tell you guys a couple times tonight that I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop. So don't get that twisted. But we do love God. We love people. And we have fallen in love with real estate and found out that we can do God's will. Because again, one more time in the Bible, it says that the poor and needy will always be among us. And it's up to us to take care of these folks. So we're doing this in an ILF shared living environment, which is completely different from a group home. Because the normal group home setting, IDD, group home, ALF, APD, you have to own the property usually. You have to have state requirements, state oversight. You must have staff, right? So all of what I'm talking about tonight, guys, does not require staff. So again, the first way also to get started with all of this is that if you text the phrase more info, just those two words, more info, to 407 326 0086. And what we'll do is that we'll give you our introductory webinar so that we'll break it down to you. Because tonight, and when I go live, I usually just treat you guys like family. I also answer a lot of questions. And that's why what I want to gear tonight kind of around is you guys asking questions. But I never just like to take for granted that people know who we are and what we do. So oftentimes I'll always give the introduction of what this is and how it works, right? So again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, the whole thing now is that how do you take the idea and now you implement that? So again, the first original way to get started with what we do is to type in the phrase more info, and you're going to text that to 407 326 0086. And I'm going to put that in the chat. So I'm putting the phone number in the chat right now. And also, I got it scrolled below. But if you text the word new to that same phone number, we also got an absolute free ebook that I want to give you. So it's an ebook that we wrote less than 30 days ago that we dropped it. And now we're giving that to you guys for the first probably about 50 to 60 days. I'm just going to give this book away because I want to help people. And the title is Avoiding the ILF Fiasco. Because when I first started, y'all, I ran a clown show. I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody wanted to help me, right? I made a lot of mistakes. I made the Channel 8 news. I went through a $40,000 lawsuit. So, guys, I went through all of what you guys don't have to go through. And if you text the phrase more info, just those two words, MOREINFO, to 407 326 0086, we're going to give you our introductory webinar and talk more in depth in a chronological order. What is this? How do you get started? And it's going to answer a lot of your questions that maybe you're afraid to ask me tonight, or maybe even answer some of the stuff that you haven't thought about. So one more time, this does not require a license. You don't have to own the property, and there's no state requirements or no state oversight. So right there, a lot of you guys should be excited. You should want to get into this and want to know more. Because if you were like me 8 years ago, you thought you had to own the property. You thought you had to have a license. You thought you had to have the fire marshal walking all through it. And guys, that is simply not true, because if you're serving independent people, you don't need that. So again, an ILF, guys, is a model where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So we've trademarked that. So if you guys go to the USPTO patent and all that good stuff and look up the phrase independent living facility, my information will be there. My name will be there. They got everything about me there except my picture, right? So we came up with that. That's ours. But I'm always indebted to tell you guys that I don't care what you call it. You can call it whatever you want to. I call my program Second Chance Housing. So my dream for you is to turn this into a business / ministry, and you turn it into a business and remove yourself, right? So I removed Derek Forston and I created a business out of this. And it all started with me being a social worker, me begging God to change my life. And again, God was so good to me that he showed me a lady that was making 41 grand a month doing this, y'all. The only difference was that she was housing people in rats and roaches. She was housing people in kitchens that were halfway burnt down. She was housing people that the mattresses were on the floor, no sheets, no comforter, no pillow. Like people's beds were sitting on cinder blocks. Like, look at this picture, guys. If you ain't got your glasses on tonight, those are cinder blocks that are holding that bed up. The devil is a liar. The same girl, the same lady making 41 grand a month. Why would you house people like this? So this is what God allowed me to see, y'all. And as soon as that lady said, Derek, I don't own these places. And Derek, I do not have a license. I was like, oh my God. And y'all, for me, that was the cheat code. To know that I didn't need a license and I didn't have to own the property. Guys, I was a poor social worker making 28 grand a year. This lady showed me that she was making 41 grand a month, mistreating people. So I was like, wow. I said, God, you know, respect to a person. You love that lady just like you love me. And God, if you let me get in this and let me leave my job, God, I'll go all over the world teaching it. And I'll never take any credit. I'll tell people that it was you, God, that gave me the idea. And God, I'll never house people with conditions like this. So that's what we stand on. That's who we are. That's what we do. Usually 5 to 7 days a week, I'm somewhere running my big mouth about what this is. And again, I want to give you guys the newest ebook, again, titled How to Avoid the ILF Fiasco, meaning avoid the dumbest mistakes I ever made. I think I put the title, what is it, 12 or 14 of the dumbest mistakes I ever made. And I'll be honest with you, man, if you guys just read the table of contents and you didn't even read the book, it'll save your life. Because I also put in that book what caused me to go through a $40,000 lawsuit, right? So do yourselves a favor, because again, for at least for the next probably 20 to 25 days or so, because we've been doing this for a while, I'm giving that book away for free. After that, it will be a small fee, like probably $27 or $37. I'll keep it super affordable, but for right now, I want to give it to you for free. So just text the word new, N-E-W, that's it, no other words, and text it to that phone number, 407-326-0086. Also, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're streaming on a couple different platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're on Clubhouse. So wherever you're tuning in from, we appreciate that. You guys got a lot of choices of where you could be, but we want to say thank you that you chose to be here. So after God and I had a nice long conversation, and it took me 2 years to figure it out, guys, I got started, and this is what it's supposed to look like. Notice the difference between this picture and this picture. Bears are not on the ground. We actually got pillows and comforters. We got a sheet set, and it actually looks halfway decent. Because, guys, if you're making the kind of money that I'm talking about making in this, why would you house people in conditions like this anyway? Like, this should break your heart when you see this, especially knowing the lady that was doing it was making $41,000 a month. Put in the chat if you made 41 grand every 30 days, if it'll change your life a little bit. Type in the word yes. In fact, I'm going to be the first one to type it, because I remember when I was making 28 grand a year, when God showed me this lady was making 41 grand a month. So again, if you made $41,000 every 29 to 30 days. If that'll change your life a little bit, type in the chat, yes. Because if that's not enough of money, that don't change your life, then excuse my ignorance and I'm sorry. But for most people that I come around, $41,000 will change their life, Katara. So don't get it twisted. I got a whole spiel about don't get into this just for the money. Because if you do, you're going to mistreat people. You're going to burn out. But y'all, Miss Melody, I was a social worker making 28 grand a year. You got to be crazy to think that I didn't want to get in this to also help feed my family. When I saw a lady showed me, Melody, this lady opened up her phone. So when I tell this story, sometimes people think I'm just talking and what the lady told me. Y'all, I'll never forget it, Jennifer. That lady opened up her Chase Bank app. She said, Derek, look, this is what I make doing this, Derek, but I'll never teach you how to do it. But look what I make doing it. Y'all, there was no month that went under $41,000 a month. And Melody, as I nearly fainted and dropped to the ground and somebody had to pick me up, I said, Lord, have mercy. Can you imagine, Derek, what your life would be like if you even made 28 grand a month? So my prayer from the beginning, I'm going to just be honest with all of y'all. I say, God, it'd be real nice to make that 41 grand a month. But God, if you can replace my yearly salary and just turn that into monthly, God, if you'll give me 28 grand a month instead of a year, God, I'll go all over the world teaching this and I'll take no credit. I'll tell people it's all you. So watch me do this because I'm still keeping my promise to the day. Y'all, without God, I'm nobody. With God, by the time we're done tonight, you guys going to think I'm a genius. But guys, I'm not a genius. In fact, I pray every day that God decrease me and God increase in me and allow people to not only to see the Jesus in me, but to also hear it and to know that when they connect with us, this is the real thing. So again, that was a prayer for me. God, can you turn my yearly salary into my monthly salary? And sure enough, guys, over time, God slowly but surely did that. So I know what it means to make my yearly salary monthly now through the teaching, the coaching, and housing people of this same thing that people hid from me. So one thing again, guys, lucky for y'all, but again, this got nothing to do with y'all. I made a promise to God over 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I said, God, if you let me get in it, and it worked for me. And God, if I can leave my job, God, I'll go all over the world teaching this, talking about it. And God, I'll never take any credit. I won't let people think that I'm some genius. God, I'm going to tell them it's you. In fact, I'm going to be so transparent. I'm going to tell them, God, that I barely graduated high school and my wife tricked me to go to college. And through the grace of God, I made it through that and landed that social worker job. Begging God every day to change my life and help me get into real estate. Dummy me, Melody, the whole time I was in this, God was like, Derek, wake up, man. You asked me to help people. That's why I made you a social worker. Derek, you talking about you want to get into real estate? Derek, I just showed you a lady making 41 grand a month mistreating my people through real estate. Somebody type in the chat, Lord, have mercy. So everything essentially, Jennifer, that I asked God for, he gave it to me. Derek, you want to help people? Boom, here goes a social work job. Derek, you want to change your life through real estate and become wealthy? He's like, Derek, here go a lady making 41 grand a month. You want to try that? But Derek, if you change the way that she's doing it, Derek, I'll bless you and everybody attached to you. So I truly believe that's why we're blessed, and that's why everybody that attaches to us is blessed, because we believe in building something that's bigger than us. And I always say this and I always mess it up, but somewhere in the good book in that Bible that it says, if I put God's plans before mine, I think it says, seek ye first the kingdom and all his righteousness. And it says that if I do that, put God's plans before me, house the poor, the needy, and the widow, build something that's bigger than me, that even when I pass away at 117 years old, I'm going to leave this earth, I'm going to die at probably 117 years old. But when I leave this earth, my legacy and what I'm teaching people and what I brought forth on this earth should still be going. God said, if I do that, all these things that I want, he'll add to me. Like, guys, I can't quote that scripture verbatim, but that's what it says. And what I'm real good at is breaking the Bible down so that people can understand it. Because sometimes people get lost in that King James version. That just means that, again, if I put God's plans and ideas before mine, in fact, we were instructed on how to even pray about that. Let thy will be done. That means God's ideas, let it be done. So that's why every day when I wake up, God, use me today. God, use me any way that you see fit. And God, if you choose to use me through real estate to help these people, I'll be ever so grateful. God, release every resource to me. Release real estate, God, to me that I never bought. Allow people to call my phone and say, Derek, you want another property? I got this property and don't know what to do with it. And that should be a daily prayer of y'all's because again, this is what we're offering, not people sleeping on the floor. And again, I'm going to convert back to the title. What's the first step? And what is the difference? Guys, the difference is I don't need a license. I don't have to ask for permission because the people that I'm serving, they're independent. They can cook their own bologna sandwich. They can provide their own transportation, right? And they can take their own medications without me or a nurse or a doctor or LPN or a CPN or RN or LPN and all the other letters. You don't need that. And guys, immediately, I knew my life was going to change when I saw a lady making 41 grand a month mistreating people. And when she said, Derek, I don't own these houses. She said, Derek, you think I own these places, don't you? I said, yeah. She said, no, I don't. And to me, y'all, again, I know I said this about 15 times, but to me, y'all, that was the cheat code for the rest of my life. And I said, God, if you let me get it, I'm going to go around the world and teach it to other people. So now I'm proud to say that we're in 34 different states and we have over 380 ILFs, and that's through the teaching of what we do. But through the teaching of it, guys, I'm partnered with over 34 states and over 380 ILFs, and that's to the goodness of God. I take no credit. See how I keep keeping my promise to God? I'm never going to let you guys think I'm some genius, but I will tell you this. When God goes, he blow on me, that's what make people think I'm a genius. But guys, I am no genius. I barely finished high school. I keep telling y'all, Shay treat me to go to college. But when God blows on your ideal or when God backs what you're doing, which is his will, that's why this is such a cheat code, y'all, because I don't have to think of a great business model to be successful. God said, take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow, because they'll always be among you. Guys, why not do that through real estate? Because if I can get real estate right and the housing part right, everything else falls into place. So again, step one, turn yourself into a business. Remove John Jones and start Jones Enterprise. Step two, begin to build a relationship through social media. Telling people that you provide affordable housing that looks like what you see on this screen. Step number three, somewhere in there, you should also get some great coaching, which I would love to be your coach. In my opinion, there is nobody on these internet streets that can teach this game better than us. For one, because God is all over it. For two, I used to be the social worker. And for three, I'm on the other side of it now. We got the trifecta, guys. God, experience, and I'm still in it. Some coaches are trying to teach you stuff and they're not every day in it. We don't do that. I'm in this. This is what I'll do for the rest of my life. I house people, period. I house women and children. I house families. But tonight, we're talking about the independent living facility model where I only house the adult male, the adult female. There is no family. There is no women and children. There is no pregnant lady with 3 kids. That's not this model. This model is the independent living facility model where adults, not the teenager, not the women and children, but anybody that's 18 to 119 years old, they can live in my place. Does that make sense, everybody? Give me a 3 of y'all to say that, yes, Derek, this makes sense. Because if you're lost, I want to know that too. And please ask your questions. We good at that. So if you got any questions or any concerns tonight, let us know. Step one, turn yourself into a business. Step two, again, get some good coaching, get recognized on social media, and start immediately telling the world, social media, your neighborhood, your community, that you provide affordable housing. Make sense? Because otherwise, how do you get your phone ringing? Next step is get a internet presence, right? Every business that we have is geared through digitalflowsolutions.net. That's a place where you guys can go and get a website for $97 and get it hosted for $37 a month, right? So digitalflowsolutions.net, I recommend everybody go and check that out. I'm actually going to type that in the chat. Digitalflowsolutions.net. That's an all-in-one platform to run any business that you have. I don't care if you house the homeless, if you have a daycare, if you fry fish every Friday and you sell it to people, or you bake the best chocolate chip cookies and you sell that. You need a website, guys. We're almost in 2025. If you don't have a website today in social media, you don't exist. So at Digital Flow Solutions, you can get all of that, including your phone system. So your phone, social media, email marketing, your website, and your CRM, go get that for $97, guys. Like, don't fool yourself. And then for $37 a month, have it on the World Wide Web. So whether I'm in Japan, Indonesia, or Dallas, Texas, I can Google you and you'll pop right up. Because again, if you're on www, meaning the World Wide Web, it don't matter if I'm in Istanbul, Turkey, if I'm in Germany, if I'm in Pakistan, if I'm in Israel, or if I'm in Orlando, Florida, or if I'm in California or Arkansas. Doesn't matter. I should be able to type in your website and boom, you pop up with all of your information. Internet presence, social media presence, website presence. Because how do you prove to people that you're real if nobody can go and actually look you up? You also need a Google My Business page. How great is it that people can trust you because now you're listed on Google? So if people are searching for housing, guess who pops up all the time now? My program, right? The next step is hopefully you also get a virtual assistant that can help you because a lot of you guys have a job. So if you're somebody that has a job and you're tied up all day, 11, 12 hours a day, counting your 8 hours at work, you'll drive to work, you'll drive home, consider going to va101.co, get a virtual assistant that can do all your administrative work, all your social media for only $297 one-time fee and then $5 an hour. That's a no-brainer. And again, especially for the people that have a job, you got kids, your children are involved in sports, you got an entrepreneurship life, your husband involved in something, your kids depend on you, your husband needy, you involved in your church, you involved in your community, some of y'all on the praise team. What I mean is that you got a lot going on, right? I say this all the time. People that come around us and follow us, what I love about you all, like right now, if I look into the chat right now, right, and I just call some random people like Melanie, Jennifer, Miss Joanne, Katara, Elam, like you guys are not lazy people. You guys are just busy. Somebody type in the chat, amen to that. Like you guys aren't lazy. You guys just are very busy with life. Life, living in a freaked up environment. And that's the clean version. So all of us have to go through life, as the young folks say now, the life be lifing. So guys, I often say that who are we not to do all of these things that God has put on our heart just because we so-called busy? The devil is a liar. So for $5 an hour, like you mean to tell me you can't get that ebook written now? You mean to tell me that you can't get that curriculum out that God already told you last year to create? A lot of you guys have been through something and you got a story to tell. You've been talking about writing this book for so long. Guys, I got training about how you can write a book in one day using AI tools and a virtual assistant. That was a $37 workshop. Now, the replay is $97, but for $97, you can make that back times 10 in less than 60 days, following those instructions and using that VA. So again, for a virtual assistant, visit va101.co. And then for the best website and CRM system and phone service for your business, because you need all of that to even be approved at the bank for a loan. Talk to me, Miss Rita, who took our instruction, got the website, which included the phone system, the email marketing, and all of that stuff. And the first thing the lady at the bank asked her for when she applied for that loan, do you have a website? If so, can you pull it up? Absolutely. Do you have a phone tied to that, which is a business line? Absolutely. How did you get that? Through our coaching. I talked to a guy today. He said, man, you guys are unbelievable, man. You guys give the coaching, but y'all also give all the tools along with it. Absolutely. Because I don't want y'all to make the same mistakes that I did. That's why we call it the ILF Mastery Blueprint, right? So, and that's why for these last, few days or few weeks, we've been offering people all kinds of ways to get into it. Prime example, today, I won't even say how crazy it was, but if you're in the ILF Academy, we put something so stupidly crazy in there in terms of a sale and a giveaway that if you saw it and took advantage of it, God bless you. If you did it, you missed it because we erased it actually. So again, if you haven't joined our absolute free ILF Academy, make sure that you do that. We throw a lot of crazy sales, deals, opportunity. We give away free stuff. We give away opportunities. You just never know. And I think 2 or 3 people took advantage of what they saw today. Other than that, we do still have something that's going on that where we're allowing people to go half, and we already actually have somebody that's waiting on a partner, right? So if you're somebody that wants to go half on the ILF Mastery Blueprint, but that 7,500 was a bit too much, imagine now only paying 37.50 and still being able to get that. Okay, you do not have to partner with the person. I'm only doing that to help you guys with the financial part of it. So somebody is already ready to join with a partner to finish that other half of it. And again, what makes it cool that I don't make you guys join together. You have to work together. I also don't make y'all split the products. So it's almost like I'm basically I'm throwing a 50% sale, if you would. So if you guys want that, just type the word half and actually text that. Don't type it. Text that to 407-326-0086. Again, if you've been around us and you've been wanting our coaching, the ILF Mastery Blueprint maybe was too high. The ILF Accelerator was too short of a time frame. Maybe you wanted more than that 6 months. Let us know by definitely texting the word half. So that means that you only pay $37.50 for our coaching. So what I want to do, guys, I want to spend probably the next 20 minutes or so answering any questions or concerns that you have. I'm also going to bring forth some questions that people text in and emailed in. I'll be answering that stuff, but I'm going to hang around till about 7 o'clock or so. So if you guys got any questions, any concerns of how to get started, any questions about our coaching, what that involves, any questions about our scholarships that go towards the coaching to help with cost, any of that stuff, let us know. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for being here. As usual, we appreciate it. Welcome to all my new people. Don't forget, if you're new, just text the word new. We got an absolute free gift that we want to give you. It's our newest ebook that I'm right now not charging for. I'm giving it away free. So I want to help people, man. Like, that's my goal. I want to help folks. So even if you've been around us a long time and you're not new, but you want to take advantage of my free book, like prime example, Katara, who else is in here? Angela, you guys have been around us as long as forever, right? But you guys can still text that phrase new, and you guys can also get the ebook. Also, it's funny that the 2 people that I just called out, you guys are IMB members anyway, so y'all get anything new that drops and you wouldn't have to pay for it anyway. But even if you're somebody that's been around a long time and you're not an IMB member, like Miss Jennifer, Miss Melody, I think this is my first time seeing you here, so welcome. We appreciate you. Elam, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Elami, Lemon B1. I'm probably really messing that up, so please forgive me. The person that's from Houston, Texas, go ahead and make sure that you also do that. Text the word new to that phone number, and then separately text the word more info to the same phone number, right? And if you want to be a part of our scholarship for one of our coaching packages, text the word scholarship, right? So we have 3 coaching packages, and this is for the Lawrence family that just joined us and they asked about our coaching products. So there's 4 ways to get into what we do. The first way is what you're doing now. Absolutely free. YouTube, join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's Monday and Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Go ahead and subscribe, like it, share it. Most importantly, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a room. That's the first way. That's absolutely free. Don't cost you a dime. The second way most people get in is our ILF Mastery Blueprint. That's $7,500. That's our one-on-one coaching. You also can go to forstonconsultants.com to check it out. Or you can also go to forstonconsultants/IMB to see what that is actually. And the ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, it involves so much that a lot of times I forget to list stuff. So that's why a lot of times I do like to lead people to the website. But it includes your digital marketing stuff, meaning your website, your CRM, and your phone system. That's on us. Because lucky for you all, we actually own the digital marketing company. The virtual assistant comes from us because we own the staffing agency. So we're able to give you guys a lot of things inside of the coaching package that otherwise you would have to pay for if you were being coached by somebody else. Most people don't bundle all of this stuff together like we do, but that's why we call it the ILF Mastery Blueprint. So we want to make sure that you get everything. So your logo build out, that's on my team. With your direction, your color scheme, your idea, you're going to tell my team what you want your logo to look like. Your website design, again, completely on us. You use my team to build your website with your direction. Most importantly is the one-on-one coaching, and you stuck with me for life pretty much. Now, in that contract, we do put a time frame, but all IMB members, unless you leave us, our relationship really never ends. Right here, we talk about all the ILF content. So every ebook, every curriculum, every course that we've ever created, you guys get it. The HRA Business in the Box, that's a whole course by itself. HRA stands for Housing Referral Agency, which means you guys can do this starting tomorrow and you don't need a house. You don't have to rent one, lease one, or buy one. The HRA teaches you guys how to use relationship to make referrals to people and charge a referral fee. So again, HRA, and trust me, we got a 14-minute webinar on that again for free that teaches you how to implement the HRA tomorrow. So again, text the phrase more info to that phone number that's scrolling below, and you'll get both of our webinars, the ILF and the HRA. And what's cool about the HRA, as I said, guys, it's a whole curriculum by itself. So you get the course, the curriculum, you get the SOPs on how to do it in a written out version. Because remember, we want most of y'all to upgrade. Well, lucky for you, in this package, the virtual assistant is a part of it. So the SOPs actually go to your virtual assistant, and you're going to teach them how to do it through these SOPs. We also give y'all the phone scripts and the email. This book is becoming really popular. We released this book months ago, but this is the book that a lot of people just buy individually because people say, well, Derek, how are you renting these properties? What in the world are you saying to these homeowners? Now, I'll admit, years ago, you had to have our coaching for me to tell you that. But today, that's an ebook, y'all, for $97, right? But if you would have met me a year ago, there was no way you would have got this information unless you paid the $7,500. Again, over time, guys, we got real lenient, and we just love to help people. So for $97, not only do you get the ebook, you also get a live role play that's attached to it of how to approach the landlords, but also how to approach the homeowners, right? So although I teach you guys that I don't want y'all handing out medications, I absolutely want you to know what kind of medications are most commonly used. So we give you a medication guidance. Also, the virtual assistant, just like I told you, man, it's probably one of the most powerful things about this package. And then for you guys is the all of the community that I want to put you inside of. So instead of charging you to be in these communities, we give them to you. So you get a community for the HRA of how to do it and more people in it. VA 101, more skill sets of how to use these VAs passively and make money in your sleep. And then, of course, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we put everybody together, right? So you could continue to learn. So if I go on vacation to Jamaica for 2 weeks and you can't reach me, I got people in that community like Katara, people like Angela that can coach this thing almost as good as me, right? So that's why we do that too, so that you got people around you that also know what this is. And again, that was 7,500. That's our one-on-one coaching. That's what most people get when they come to us, right? But again, less than 60 days ago, we released something that's called the ILF Accelerator. And that's for people that don't need my for life coaching. They don't need me for a long time or for me to hold their hand per se, but it is one-on-one coaching and it's for 6 months. So that's the difference. Whereas the IMB, you kind of just stuck with me because we family at that point. But the other one, the ILF Accelerator, that was for 6 months, right? So that was only $3,000. So over under half of what the other one is. And then the other one that's very popular lately is the DIY, so the do-it-yourself version. A lot of people are also getting that. They're upgrading and getting a VA, and then they're buying coaching hours separately. So make sure you guys go and visit all of that stuff over at forstonconsultants.com. I'm also going to break up a slide just really quick for the Lawrence family because they wanted to see a little bit of a breakdown. I think I have it. Because again, my VAs build all of this stuff for me. I can't build PowerPoints, y'all. I'm not that good at it. So right here, again, are our 3 coaching packages. Again, the ILF Mastery Blueprint, 7,500. There's also a current scholarship that can go towards that. The next one is the ILF Accelerator for $3,000. That's a 6-month program. It's identical to the ILF Mastery Blueprint, but this one is a hard stop at 6 months. The virtual assistant is not involved in it, but you can upgrade, and the logo build out in this one is not involved in it, but you still get the CRM, the website build out, all the paperwork, all the curriculum, the one-on-one coaching, blah, 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 right? And that HRA is still inside of that one. And then the ILF Mastery Blueprint do-it-yourself version, that means, Derek, I don't need your coaching. I don't want your one-on-one, and Derek, you don't got to hold my hand. But yes, Derek, still build my website. Give me all that paperwork, Derek, and give me all your teachings on a recorded level. So we got this quarterly coaching that we do that's called MSI, group coaching. That stands for Move at the Speed of Instruction. That coaching alone, guys, is $4,500. We put that coaching inside of this because it's recorded. So the last one that we did went 5 weeks long, and every week was at least 3 hours. So 3 hours times those 5 sessions, that's over 15 hours, guys, of just game of me giving y'all concerning the ILF Mastery Blueprint coaching. So it's almost like instead of getting a 4-year degree, you get it in 1 year, and it's all given to you through video. So a lot of people like the ILF Mastery Blueprint do-it-yourself version because it still comes with all the paperwork, all the documents. We still build your website, but there is no logo, there is no VA, but both of those things you can upgrade and still get it, and you're still under that 7,500. You're still under the $3,000. So that's why a lot of people like that. So Lawrence family, if that made sense, shoot me a text and let me know, because you guys were actually texting that to me. But everybody else, if that's cool, I'm gonna move on. If there are questions about the coaching, let me know. And then what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go back to the chat, and I'm gonna continue answering some of the stuff that was also there as well. So let's see. There's a question from FU that says, will you assign the VA or guide me to the right VA that right? So that's the lovely part of our onboarding. So when you go through your onboarding with my team at VA 101, they're going to guide you through the whole process. So you don't do this by yourself. My team is online on a Zoom call with you, FU, right? In fact, FU, put your name in the chat. I feel funny about keep saying that. You're a regular now, and I'm sure your name isn't FU. Put your name in the chat. I'm going to feel more comfortable saying your real name if you don't mind it. That's actually kind of funny too. But to answer your question though, again, the virtual assistant, you have an onboarding. So the moment you pay, a lot of emails you're going to start getting in terms of what you need, what skill set you're looking for. Then my team does the work to vet and endorse that VA to you. We take 10 to 14 days to do that. And while you're waiting the 10 to 14 days, my team also gives you a course and a curriculum to watch about how to hire a VA, right? How does it work? What questions should you be asking? What you should be looking for in a VA? So that way, when you get to the interview, you're not like some deer in headlights, right? And also, if you haven't done it yet, go to www.va101.co. Click that button that says, I think it says set up a call. What that will do is give you a 7-minute video that again explains this process I'm talking about, and then it immediately sets you up to speak with my team, right? So especially if you've paid already, because if you paid the $297, everything just happens now. And as soon as you fill out the form, that's when my team goes to work, and they take that 10 to 14 days to vet and endorse to you. And then while you're waiting, your job is to watch that course. Some people watch it in 1 day. Some people watch it in the span of those 14 days. Some people watch it over 5 days. Whatever you did, Brooke. Good to meet you, Brooke. Brooke's family now. So, and thank you for that, Brooke. But yes, Brooke, that's how that works. So, yep, watch that 7-minute video. And then let's get on the call to talk about maybe what you'll use that VA for. Because there's a lot of people that have come to us, y'all, and they'll get a VA for something completely different. They don't want to house the homeless. They don't want to run a program, right? They want to bake chocolate chip cookies and have that VA run their website. So there's a lot of people that come to us for just business coaching and business stuff, and they get VAs for completely different stuff. Prime example, I'll tell you right now what's been popular. Mothers have been getting VAs from us to be the liaison between their kid and the school teacher. I got a lot of moms that just can't be that anymore. They got 2 and 3 jobs, they're an entrepreneur, and the kid is struggling a little bit in school. So mom hires a VA to be not only a tutor, but also a liaison, a connection between mom and the school teacher. I think that's genius. To me, that's a mom that's investing in the kid's education and that kid's success. So a lot of these moms are hiring these VAs to be a tutor, right? We had a lady not long ago that has her own medical office. She's a psychiatrist. She wants a VA to answer her phone. She just fired her assistant that was making $18 an hour, that was looking at YouTube and TikTok all day. Now she got a VA from us for $5 an hour that answers every call, that does the social media, and that makes phone calls on her behalf as reminders for her patients on their appointments. How genius is that? So again, that's kind of what does that. So 2 ways to do that. Go to the website, click that button, or like most people do, they type in that phrase more info. They watch that webinar. And what I love about the webinar, that my team can see the analytics. So once you watched a certain amount of that webinar, you immediately should get a email and a text asking you to set up a call. So Brooke, do me a favor. Text that phrase more info to the phone number 407-326-0086. And if you've done this already, just let me know. But watch that webinar. And then I'll also let my team know that when you do your discovery call, we'll also discuss questions about your VA. Okay. Anybody that also has a question about Digital Flow Solutions, the website and CRM system that we use to contact all of these social workers, all of these case managers, or whoever your customer base is, digitalflowsolutions.net. Remember, guys, we own the company. So anybody under our coaching, we give you that, right? You don't have to pay for that outside of that. Okay. Next one in the chat says, she says, my name is Brooke. Laugh out loud. The VA needs to change my name. Absolutely. Yep. So let me see if it's anything else. What type of paperwork does the do-it-yourself include? Also, what out distal solutions? How many VA do I receive? If you can retype that one for me. That one says, what type of paperwork do you receive? All of it. So literally not even, I'm gonna say it's been almost a year. There's a lot of people that call me and say, Derek, we don't want your coaching. Derek, I don't want your coaching. I don't want you to hold my hand. I know what I'm doing, but Derek, can you give me that paperwork though? And guys, we never gave our paperwork out unless it was a part of our coaching. But when we developed the DIY product, we said, man, you know what? For people that feel like they can do this on their own and they don't feel like they need me, no problem. At least I still want them to get the paperwork. So we finally included our paperwork. Other than that, you had to get the ILF Mastery Blueprint. So the lease, the move-in packet, the release of liability, and some more stuff that I don't kind of just say out loud. But most of the paperwork, not most, all of the paperwork that you're going to need to run this facility, most important out of everything that I'll name is the release of liability and the actual lease. The handbook, most important. I don't allow you guys to recreate the wheel on that, right? I didn't want to do it, but I had to. So the people that I teach, I make sure that you guys, like y'all just come with that. So paperwork includes your handbook, move-in packet, release of liability, lease, which I'll admit we don't really even call a lease anymore, and that's some deep coaching that's on one-on-one, but that's what comes with that paperwork. Make sense? And also the templates for the email templates, the phone script, because sometimes people say, well, Derek, what do I say to these social workers? What do I say to these case managers? Well, lucky for y'all, I repeat that a lot of times just here live, but we give y'all the phone scripts. And if you know anything about Chat GPT, you don't really even need my phone script if you know how to use AI tools, right? Or if you took my AI, or if you took my messaging that I gave you and put it in Chat GPT and say, hey, can you make this 50 times better than what this is right now? And Chat GPT will blow your mind in terms of what it'll reword it as, right? And then if you're real smart, you say, hey, can you make me 50 versions of this? So now you got 50 versions of this one thing that Chat GPT made for you in less than probably 1 minute, right? So we real big on AI tools and VAs, because when we get asked often what leans towards our success, we don't hide it. It's God first, virtual assistants next, softwares and systems, and that's digitalflowsolutions.net, and doing the proper assessment to make sure that we're serving the right avatar, the right client, the right person, right? So God, VAs, digital flow solutions, and doing the proper assessment. Let's take a break, guys. We'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show. All right, all right. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank y'all so much for being a part of our live tonight. We super appreciate it. We always say that you guys have a lot of choices of where you could be on these internet streets, but you chose to be here, and we appreciate that. We also hope that we say something tonight that's going to be life-changing for you, to help you move at the speed of instruction, to do what God has probably already called you to do, right? So back to the topic, right? I want to give a little bit more game here, right? And then we'll go back over to the chat. When we talk about what is the difference between an ILF, which is what we've trademarked, which is a shared living environment that doesn't require a license or state oversight or staff, is the affordability, the community, and how cost effective it is. I also love the shared responsibilities. Most of my, well, I won't go too far, not most of my guys, but a good majority of my clients at our house, they're also very handy, which means that when I first started, I hired a landscaping crew. I had maids coming in every now and again. I had people to fix the AC, the plumbing, the toilet. But now today, not as much, because a lot of the people that I'm housing, they're independent, for one, remember, but two, they can fix stuff. So if you guys remember what I told y'all, a prayer of mine was that I was like, God, not only do I want to house these people, but I want to be able to also give them jobs. Why do you think I created this other business less than 30 days ago that's called Power Stream Solutions, which is a pressure washing company here in Central Florida that does soft washing, pressure washing. We do auto detailing, and we do houses, residential and commercial. So again, we did that to not only to help supplement our housing program, but also give these guys a job and give them something to do. And not that we're going to force them to work. The people that say, Derek, I'm bored, I want something to do. Derek, you ain't got nothing to do for me to make money. This is exactly what I do now. So lucky for me and lucky for them, we created powerstreamsolutions.biz. Go check it out. Show us some love on Facebook. If you guys can go to Powerstream Solutions on Facebook, give us a like, share it, do something. I don't know, thumbs up it. But go and check us out. And you're also going to see on some of the videos where I'm already training some of the military veterans to do this. So I'm super excited. So my goal is that I want to work this program myself for 4 to 6 months. Power Stream Solutions, I'm going to do a lot of car detailing. In fact, I did a car today. I'm going to do a lot of power washing, soft washing, auto detailing, concrete cleaning, restaurant cleaning. But hopefully after these 6 months, I found me a foreman and somebody to house, no, excuse me, help run this business to help the people that I'm housing, give them a job and a purpose in life. Some of these guys are just bored and want something to do. Look at this picture. These are my guys cutting the grass. Guys, I don't pay landscapers anymore. I tell you this all the time. Over my left shoulder right now is my vision board. Y'all can't see it, but right behind my vision board says all the things that I envision for this program. And it says, God, I want to house these people and keep them busy and out of trouble. Because we believe that if they're busy, we keep them out of trouble. And God, I want to give these guys an income. I want to provide a job. Now, some of my guys, they don't want nothing to do with landscaping. They don't want to watch no cars. They just want to sit on the couch and watch TV all day. No problem. I provide that too. But the guy that says, Derek, man, I'm bored, bro. You ain't got no work around here for me to do. I can't fix nothing. Absolutely. Let's go. And again, with the licensed group home, I can't be working them clients. That's against the law. These clients are state people. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Also, with a licensed group home, the requirements are staff. Guys, I don't have staff. I don't have oversight from my state, from my county, from my country. I don't have regulations that I follow in the ILF model. The ILF stands for Independent Living Facility, where adults can live and thrive in this room right here without the need for staff and or medical oversight. I can age a teenager agent from the foster care system as long as he's 18 years old, or I can house a guy that's 118 years old that's getting ready to be evicted by his family. So, guys, the oldest client to date, I think my guy was, 98. He was an avid bike rider. Go check my YouTube channel. Go look at my Instagram. He's on it. I filmed it because he's trying to teach me how to ride the bike. Can you imagine that 98 years old in your right mind riding a bicycle? Guys, I was housing a guy like that. Proud of it. Used to be in the Olympics in England, had an accent, showed the proof of the stuff. Like, how, as y'all women would say, how precious is that? That made me feel good to house a guy that was so old that needed a place to live. What is a 98-year-old doing, even though he was good and healthy? What is he doing on the street, y'all? The devil is a liar, not on my watch, not a 98-year-old. So again, in the ILF model of this shared living environment, no state regulations, no oversight, and clients that are not independent. That's what the licensed kind of program is like. The APD, the IDD, the traditional group home, these clients are not independent. And that's why it's called an ALF, Assisted Living Facility. Mine is called an ILF, Independent Living Facility. This lady sitting on that couch right there, y'all, she can't cook her own bologna sandwich. She can't make her own tossed salad. My guys can. And I take pictures and videos of it all the time. Go check us out at Second Chance Housing. I also don't need a sprinkler system that's going to cost me $20,000. Put a number 1 in the chat if you've been told any of this stuff to start your own place. You had to buy the place, you had to own it, you had to get a sprinkler system, or you had to have the fire marshal walking through it. Just put a number 1 in the chat and let me know that. That's why we love the shared housing environment. That's why we love the ILF environment, because I don't need a license. I don't need a fire alarm system. Like, does this make sense, guys, why we keep calling this the cheat code to housing people? And trust me, there is a need for a group home. There is a need for an IDD group home. There is a need for an APD. But guys, that's not my lane. And my prayer, even if you want that to be your lane, why not start one of these first? Be like Miss Francesca Dawson, who we taught this to many years ago. She's got a ton of ILFs, but she's also got an APD now. Took her 3 years to open the doors for the APD. We taught her this, took her 90 days to get her first place. Major difference, guys. Major difference. No fire alarm system. In Florida, you probably gonna have to go through ACA when it comes to being licensed. In Texas, Texas Health and Human Services Commission, probably got to go through them. In North Carolina, the Department of Health and Human Services. They're responsible for ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of all North Carolinians when it comes to housing programs. If you're in Georgia, probably DCH. we call it DCF where I am, Georgia Department of Community Health, dedicated to providing access to affordable, quality health care. God, these are licensed facilities. If you're in Virginia, you've probably heard of Virginia Department of Medical Assistance Services, agency that administers Medicaid and the state Children's Health Insurance Program, better known as CHIP, for you guys that want to house the kids. So for me, this is where I tell people this is the new future, guys, of the way that people will invest in real estate, but it's also going to be the new way that people are living because things are getting so expensive. I say this all the time, guys. I don't care where you live at, it's expensive. Why not you be the answer to the problem of affordable housing in your city through an ILF or through your shared housing program that doesn't require a license? Because you're not hiring a guy that can't remember to take his meds. You're not hiring a guy that can't feed himself. You're not housing the guy that can't take his own medications. We serve people that are completely independent. And again, the future of an independent living facility, again, how we explain it at Forston Consultants, it's going to be the new way for some people to live, and it's going to be the new way for some people to actually invest. Let's take a break. Let's get a word from David and Dennis, and we'll be right back. So, Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model? David, that's a great question. And that's actually what makes the ILF model so great, is because it's flexible. So, prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on and on. So, Dennis, where do you get your residents from? I see you guys on TikTok and Facebook, you guys getting all of these houses. Like, where in the world are you getting these people from? Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Forston Consultants teaches us to use social media such as Instagram, Facebook, to let people know who we are, what we do, but probably most importantly, who do we serve? And we do that very consistently. So every day, 7 days a week, there's something being posted about what we do and who we serve, but also building relationships with social workers and case managers. Again, letting them know who we are, what we do, and most importantly with them, that we're available. Dennis, how in the world are you able to do this without a license, bro? David, remember the reason why we don't need a license, because remember, the clients that we serve, they're independent. So that means that they can take their own medications, they can provide their own transportation, and they can cook and provide their own food. Dennis, man, you seem to know a lot about this independent living stuff, man. How do you know so much? Well, first of all, I graduated from Forston Consultants University, and I have a master's degree in independent living facilities. And I join the Forston crew every Monday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. They go live, and that guy Derek, man, he give the game away. So I'm always there. So Dennis, what in the world are the requirements to get started with something like this? The only requirement for this, David, is a big heart for God, his people, and the love for real estate. That's it. And bro, don't think I ain't listening, because I am listening, but where can I find more information like this at, man? Because I really want to get started, man. David, if I were you, I'd follow Derek Forston on Facebook and TikTok, and then I'd follow Forston Consultants on everything else in terms of Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Again, really slowly, David, because you're hard-headed. I'd follow Derek Forston at Facebook on his personal page. I'd follow him on TikTok, but I will also follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, David. Hey, Dennis, man, I really appreciate that, man. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. No problem, David. That's actually what I'm here for. And by the way, where did you get that hoodie? I like that. Oh, this? I got this from Second Chance Apparel. I'll put the link below. This is for aspiring entrepreneurs. And the reason why I love to support it is that every shirt or hoodie that you purchase goes back into housing the homeless. All right. All right. Let's do it. We are back. We are back. I'm going to the chat. Then we're going to talk about some of the populations that you are able to serve. And then we're going to get you guys out of here. I'm a little bit over my time by 6 minutes, but that's okay. I'm going to go to the chat because we never leave any questions unanswered. So if you have any questions right now, now is a great time to put them in the chat, because what we'll do is we'll begin to start wrapping things up. And I'll do that by answering your questions. So here's a question from Melody that says, once this business is built, can it be sold? Absolutely. Wow, that's a great question. That's the first time I've ever been asked that on the live. So Melody, thank you for asking that, because I'm going to put a little light on that. Melody, put in the chat where you're located again. Just let the people know where you're located. But if you build this business, you can absolutely sell it. Prime example, And I'll even give you two examples. I'm gonna even give the example of the how of how you can sell this, even if these houses that you have are rentals. Prime example. If I would say, man, you know what? God has called me to do something different. God has called me to now bake pastries for a living. I just found out last night through a dream that I'm not supposed to be housing the homeless and I should be baking pastries and giving them away to elderly adults. I don't know. Let's say I got that epiphany in a dream last night. Because my phone number, my website, my Google My Business, and the properties that I rent or lease, forget about the ones that I own. The properties that I rent or lease are under a contract. There is no reason why I wouldn't be able to sell all of that and turn it over to somebody else, right? So I want to just be clear on that. You understand that, and I'll slow that down because somebody's going to hear, wait a minute, Derek, how can you sell a business that got houses that you rent or lease? Guys, that's very similar to what we used to do that was called our diamond package. Now, we don't do this anymore with rentals, only if we own it. But our diamond package is something that we don't even talk about. It's not advertised. It's not on the website. You just got to know about it or ask about it. And most times people ask us for it. Prime example, I got two doctors right now that found us over a year ago, want to do this, but didn't have time to set it up, didn't want to look for a house, didn't want to look for the clients, didn't want to do the social media. So we did everything for them. We found the house, filled it with clients, but that comes with a $40,000 price tag. Now we did that with rentals. Guess why we stopped doing that though? Because what if you also wake up in the morning with an epiphany that you shouldn't be housing the homeless, that you should be a cowboy, and you want to quit now? Well, if I rent this house, now I got to scramble to find somebody else to get back in it and run it, or me take it over myself. So now today we don't offer that unless we actually own the property, right? So if I own the property and I fill it with clients and somebody want to buy that as a running business, we still do that. But back to your original question, can you build this business and sell it? Absolutely, you can, because it's real estate. And the genius part about it is that you can actually charge more because if you got clients already in it that are collecting income, prime example, if you got a 4-bed, 2-bath home, let's use easy math, you're charging $700 per bed. You have 8 beds in that place. 8 times 7, if my math ain't correct, is what, 5,600? What if you got 5 of these houses? Now, I ain't gonna get too deep into the business coaching tonight, but well, you know what? I'm not gonna even go down that hole, but I'll just put it like this. There's a way to calculate what this business is worth simply by what you're bringing in. And I wish my accountant was actually available tonight because I'd actually have her chime in on this. But there's a way to come up with a total or a numerical number of what you would sell it for. And let's just talk about 5 houses and they all got 8 people in it. There's a way to do a calculation, right? To figure out what would you sell this business for. Now, everybody's got a concrete number of what they may want. I'm going to be the guy and the coach that tells you that, no, it's actually worth more because we're not just talking about the real estate. We're talking about your phone number. We're talking about your website. We're talking about your Google My Business and all the business that'll be drove to this business that's already been built by you. Melody, I want you to be paid for that. So let's just say you said, man, you know what? This is worth, and I'm just throw out a number. I don't know, $100,000. I'm gonna be like, this is worth like 130 because you took the time to build this business. You built the brand. They're going to get your website, all your branding, all your color scheme, your Google page, all your social media. And if you're real smart, if you got a virtual assistant tied to it, you tie the VA into it as well. Now, some of y'all know this and some of y'all don't. Why y'all think I don't have April anymore? Now, some of y'all heard this story about, about 4 weeks ago? April, who was one of my VAs, is actually no longer one of my VAs. She works for multiple people now instead of me, and I make money from it. So hopefully I didn't go down a rabbit hole where you didn't understand that. So I'm going to come back to the beginning and say, yes, if you build an independent living facility that looks like this in the inside to where you're taking people from homeless to hopeful, whether you own the real estate or not, you can absolutely sell that business. Make sense, Melody? If it does, Melanie, you let me know. If that didn't make sense, you let me know. Okay. All right. So next question. And again, thank y'all for the questions too. I love questions. That's how we thrive here. And that's how we are making sure that we give value, that you guys ask questions. Will you assign the VA, or I already answered that one. Is there ever an issue with renters becoming squatters? I'll put it this way: there could be. I myself have only experienced that once since I've been doing this, and our coaching to guide you through that. And lucky for me, I live in Florida now, so I have a governor that does not put up with stuff like that. We are in I'll say a landlord-friendly state, so squatters don't stand a chance in Florida. I also own property in other states that are very landlord friendly. Prime example, Georgia. Georgia don't play the radio again when it comes to being friendly with the landlord and not dealing with squatters, right? So I'll answer that by saying you could have problems with this. And if you do, you just got to do things by the book, right? Now, our coaching will show you a ton of other ways of how to alleviate that. But every now and again, you may get this knucklehead Melody that think he got more sense than you. He gonna say, Melody, I ain't moving out of here. Melody, you're gonna have to evict me. So go through the process, Melody. Now, with that guy, no problem. I'm gonna go through the process. But for me, 95% of the time, because of what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, my paperwork that they signed, the signed documents that they signed, and again, the verbiage that we're using, they're probably just gonna leave. Okay. But again, 5 to 10% of the time, you're gonna get that one guy, Melody. He think he know more than you. He gonna say, Melody, I ain't leaving. In fact, Melody, you can't evict me right now. So go through the process because I ain't going nowhere. Now, to keep it clean on this live, you got to deal with that guy the legal way, the right way, through the system. Okay. My coaching goes a little bit deeper. It still stays legal, but it's a lot of verbiage and paperwork. I'll be honest, a lot of the verbiage and paperwork is what we lean on, that they sign. Okay. So great questions. Next question is, let's see. I answered that one already. I answered that one. That's when she was telling me her name is Brooke. I answered that one. Oh, in fact, hey, Brooke, in fact, my schedule is absolutely, I think, slammed tomorrow, but I'm going to set aside a special time for you. Text me at that phone number, Brooke, and tell me what time you're available. I want to make sure that you and I get on the call tomorrow to brainstorm any ideas that you may have. Because if I'm not mistaken, you're also somebody that wanted that half. I think you come in at half. So I absolutely want to discuss that with you as well. And you also asked another question and said, how many VAs come in the package? So it's one VA per package. But some people choose to get two VAs right away, and you can just upgrade. Okay. And usually, more than likely, when that happens, if somebody is buying a coaching package, we super discount that second VA, right? Now, if you wanted to come to us just from scratch and not get no coaching and want two VAs, if I'm not mistaken, if you go on our site, one VA is only one-time fee of $297. Two VAs, I think, is $597, right? But again, there's one VA that will come with your coaching package, the ILF Mastery Blueprint. Okay. Brooke said that she's already watched that webinar, so perfect. So we're going to get you. So do me a favor, Brooke. Just text right now to that same phone number, 407-326-0086. Just text me with your first and last name and the best number to call you from. My team will see that and will immediately put you on my schedule, and I'll block out some time so that you and I can discuss that tomorrow. Let's see. I think I have a few more questions. And again, guys, if you got questions while I'm still looking, by all means, put them in the chat. Then I'm going to try to get you guys out of here in about the next 10 minutes or so. Does your contract say is rent payment or joining as a member? Ooh, you're getting fancy, Ed. So some people believe in that whole membership thing, right? Some people believe in different terms. And Ed, if I'm not mistaken, you're also getting ready to join our coaching. So you and I will go much deeper on this. So we'll talk about memberships, we'll talk about leases, and we'll talk about another word that I'll give you once you join, because a lot of people go away from the word lease just because of where, according to where you live at, in terms of what that may mean in the courtroom, right? So that's why a lot of our paperwork was built by our lawyers, and it will help you with a lot of that stuff. But I love the fact that you're already using verbiage like that. So that tells me that you're already kind of keen on some of the verbiage. I love that. So big shout out to Ed from California, who's going to be a part of our ILF Mastery Blueprint. Um, Let me see. Oh, Ed was also one of those people that caught that really crazy, stupid sale that we threw out that didn't go out to a lot of people, or a lot of people may have missed it. Again, if you're not a part of the ILF Mastery, no, excuse me, the ILF Academy, which is our free Facebook group, you're doing yourself a disservice. So make sure you join the free ILF Academy over there on Facebook. Let's see. Yep, Ed, I see where you put 3 times valuation minimum. Yep, that's kind of where I was going, but I didn't want to go down a super rabbit hole with that. I usually like to be with my accountant or my other business coach before I start talking that, or the one-on-one coaching, but before we get to that. Let's see. Does your contract say it's okay? We already answered that one. Melody said, thank you. Thank you, Melody. I appreciate your questions. Yep, FU says I just scheduled it for tomorrow. Perfect. And let me go and see, because that probably get pushes to my phone too. So let's see. And then somebody says I'm scheduled for tomorrow at 11 a.m. Perfect. So that means that must have been open enough for you to do that. Good. Because I also told Jess about you today too, that I wanted to speak to you. So Jess might have did that even before we came over here tonight. So if any of my team is live with me now, or any of the ones that will see the replay, Tara or Jess, please make sure that Brooke and I talk tomorrow at 11 a.m. I have an appointment I think I have a detail and a soft wash tomorrow, but I want to set a time for 11 a.m. for Brooke, Jess. So if you're watching this or when you see it later, make sure Brooke is on my schedule for 11 a.m. All right. And I think that's it. I think I knocked them all out. So again, guys, thank y'all so much for being here. We super appreciate it. Don't forget again that we're allowing you guys to text the word HALF, HALF, to the phone number that's scrolling below on the bottom of your screen. That number is 407-326-0086. And again, text the word HALF to that number. If you do want our ILF Mastery Blueprint, we're allowing you to join that up with somebody else. So it's the same as like me throwing a 50% sale. So if you want the ILF Mastery Blueprint and you only want to pay half, text the word HALF to that phone number. But also, please know that there's a scholarship, because if you don't make it for that half thing, there is still a scholarship that's available for all packages right now, for the DIY, for the Mastery Blueprint, and also for the Accelerator. So remember, there's 3 ways to get into our coaching, guys. The DIY version, which is the do-it-yourself, because with all the paperwork, all the curriculum, all the courses, we still build your website, but there's no VA and there's no there's no logo build out. But if you wanted it, you just add it. I think the logo is $20. That VA is $297. So you still essentially can get everything. But remember, that was only 6 months. Okay, so hard stop at 6 months. For the Accelerator, the do-it-yourself is at your own pace. There's no rush. You can go as slow as you like. And what I like about the people that are getting the DIY here lately, and trust me, I want y'all all to get the IMB, but I'm just honest about it. If the people that are getting the DIY, the reason why I think it's so smart, because they're getting the DIY, they're turning around and buying separate coaching one-on-one, but they still show up every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday for free and ask questions. Like, how genius is that? And then I think they're still in a community. So think about it. So if finances is a problem, first of all, we have financial help right on our website. Second of all, think of the DIY and then buying separate coaching hours, because I coach by the hour too. So there's a lady that did that just this Friday. She bought the DIY. She bought 2 hours of coaching, and she still comes and asks all of her questions, and she's in the community asking all of her questions. To me, that's the cheat code. That's somebody that said, well, Derek, I don't need your phone number. I don't need you to hold my hand, Derek. I don't need to be in your back pocket. I don't need you to answer my every waking call. But if I can buy some coaching, Derek, and still get the one-on-one and still show up to your lives and type in questions, like, I love that. So DIY, do it yourself. The Accelerator is only $3,000. That's a 6-month program. It's identical to the ILF Mastery Blueprint, but there's no VA and no logo build out. Everything else, you get it, and it's 6 months. But the big daddy is what everybody usually gets is the ILF Mastery Blueprint, which comes with a bunch of stuff. Everything that we have, our business coaching, the VA, the CRM, the website, the one-on-one coaching, all the products, all the paperwork, all the communities, right? And any workshops, because we're going to have another workshop in the month of October, usually be about $97. IMB people don't pay for that. So you're an ILF Master Blueprint member, you never pay for a workshop. You just show up. Okay. Back to the chat real quick. Brooke says, awesome. Good, good, good. So I'm gonna be talking to Brooke tomorrow. Brooke, I'm excited for you and your family. We'll mark this day as the day that you made a decision to change your life. And you're only gonna have to pay half to do it. So that's what I love too. So let me remove this. Brooke says the DIY may be best for her. No problem. However you want, Brooke. No problem. I don't force people either way. So the only thing that I will encourage is that you do what the lady did Friday. If I were you, I would get the DIY, but I would still purchase some one-on-one coaching just by hour and just combine that. The way that she did it was she bought 2 hours. So usually, and we'll get on the phone and talk about it, Brooke, but just for everybody to hear it, usually, guys, I'm $400 an hour, right? And I can change your life in just an hour with $400. But this lady, obviously, because of what she did, she got a little bit of a, I'll say, scholarship, but she bought essentially. So if you think about it, she bought 2 sessions. She's going to break those down to where it's now going to be 4. So she's going to break it down in 30-minute increments, and she can choose when she wants those calls. So essentially, she bought herself the DIY. She spent another, I think it was $800 or a little less, and got 4 sessions from that she can choose whenever she wants it. To me, that's a cheat code. Like I was so encouraged of how she did that. I told you guys, I actually may build a product that's kind of like that, right? But for right now, we have the DIY, the accelerator, and the ILF Mastery Blueprint. So again, Brooke, if that's what you want of anybody, no problem. But also, we also tell people, if you don't get anything, what we would love for everybody to do is to give us a 5-star Google review. If we said anything that has changed your life or made you think in a different way or gave you new ideas, or maybe I share something that people have been hiding from you. Obviously, you see how freely we are with giving the information. So again, if you guys can give us a 5-star Google review, that's all you guys owe us. You don't owe me nothing. We don't pass around an offering plate. We don't do any of that. But we will tell you that don't procrastinate, because procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. So again, don't forget, everything that we offer still has a scholarship that can be applied to it, right? The bigger the package, obviously the bigger the scholarship, but even the DIY, it's got a little bit of a scholarship attached to it, right? So other than that, man, that's pretty much it. Join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Join us every Saturday, right, at 10 a.m. Eastern. And don't forget, if you ever miss a room that we have, no problem. All rooms are recorded, and you guys can go back and actually watch the replay. So prime example, the room that you guys missed on Saturday, you guys can literally go back and catch that replay. So we're going to go do one more commercial. I'm going to come back and wrap things up. Then I'm going to let you guys go. Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forston Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forston Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forston Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA, and you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. And I'm getting ready to close you guys out again. One more time. Procrastination, guys, is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something He's already told you to do. And I usually tell you guys all the time, right? It didn't per se take me to come here to tell you that you should be doing this. God has told most of y'all that y'all probably should be doing something similar to this. He's already put it on your heart. Lucky for you, He merged us together now. So again, don't procrastinate and literally do what God has put on your heart. And then the other thing that we say is move at the speed of instruction, or as Ed put it, move at the speed of revelation. Because once you get this, it's time to move now. So my prayer is that God give you the mind of Christ and an able body to put your hands to the plow to do what He's already called you to do. And again, once again, y'all don't owe me nothing. But if you can give us a 5-star Google review, we would absolutely appreciate that. That helps the algorithm and other people find us. Again, we're in 34 states now, over 380 ILFs through this shared housing model through our teaching. So there's a lot of people that trust us. Go look at our Google reviews. You will see a ton of people that have given us a 5-star Google review. I think we're like a 4.9. So I think only 2 people ever, and those were spammers, didn't give us a 5. But if you've been served by us, if you've seen us, if you've encountered us, you know that we believe in doing things in excellence and also sharing the information that a lot of people would just simply hide from you. So if you guys can scan that, I would absolutely appreciate a 5-star Google review. Also, if you're thinking about one of our packages and you want the scholarship, this is one of the steps anyway, right? So we ask you guys to do a 5-star Google review to get that discount. So even like Brooke, if you're thinking about the DIY, I would go ahead and do that Google review now. That way you already skipped that step of having to do that. And then that way you also qualify yourself to get it. So again, scan that QR code, share this with a friend or a family member or a pastor or a bishop, and then give them the code. Because again, we want to make sure that we're serving you guys, but we also want other people to see that we're giving value. And we believe in doing that through a Google review. Other than that, Father God, thank you so much for the seed that was sown tonight. And thank you for the ability to give what you gave me. And Father God, tonight, allow these people to move at the speed of instruction to do what you have already put on their heart, and let no devil in hell stop it. So right now, in the name of Jesus, everybody that's under the sound of my voice, the devil is under your feet. He has no place in your life, your business, or your family, and you will succeed because you're going to keep God first. You're going to get good coaching through us. You're going to get softwares and systems from Digital Flow Solutions, and you're going to get a virtual assistant to make it all happen. And before we get too cocky or arrogant, and we'll be ever so careful, God, to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. And God, if you allow it, in fact, we'll take no credit. We'll tell people that you are the reason for this, and that you just allow us to be a good steward over it. So, Father God, now I thank you for allowing these people to be a good steward over what you're going to bless them with. Because again, God, we take no credit. We give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to God's power that worketh in us. You guys be great, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show.
One Atlanta city councilman says the city's homeless population seems to have grown and become more aggressive, and he points to what he calls deplorable behavior at the world's busiest airport. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor takes a closer look at the problem and how the city council might handle it.
If you have been in downtown Atlanta near the connector or out at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport lately, you have likely seen that the homeless problem is growing. One Atlanta City Council person says it's time to address it.
What's going on in the airport is horrible. It is deplorable.
Atlanta City Councilman Michael Julian Bond says the world's busiest airport is dealing with a homeless problem that has gotten out of hand. Bond says business owners and travelers alike are being subjected to unimaginable circumstances.
How do you break?
Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forstonconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forstonconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show.
Take a drive down Los Angeles' Skid Row, filled with tents, people, and growing frustration.
If I can get back into another residence, then I won't make the same mistakes I made before.
According to new federal data, a record number of people are now unhoused, more than 653,000, a 12% population increase since last year. Mel Tilakaratna runs a nonprofit that provides free showers to people living on the street.
The system is completely overwhelmed.
Tilakaratna points to a rise in housing costs, the opioid epidemic, mental health issues, and the migrant crisis as factors exacerbating the problem in LA.
We have found.
Hey, what's going on, family? I super hope you guys are enjoying this information. But let's just say you want more one-on-one coaching, just like what you're receiving now. You're actually looking for our ILF Mastery Blueprint. So that's our hand-holding one-on-one coaching, where that's what most of the people that come to us, that's what they want. They don't want to just watch me on YouTube all the time, right? They want me in their back pocket for one-on-one coaching. And what's super powerful about it right now, that there's a scholarship that's actually available that brings that down to only $7,500, a long ways from the normal price of the 15 grand. So even doing this live right now, if you guys text IMB below, my team can send you over some information. But nevertheless, definitely go over and see forstonconsultants.com and check us out there as well. Let's get back to the show.
To a 2022 report, an estimated 359 veterans across our state face homelessness.
Transitions Homeless Shelter is opening a new dorm to help get some of those veterans off the streets. News 19's Becky Buds reports.
2 months ago, Navy veteran Zachariah Shahid found himself without a place to live before Transitions Homeless Center took him in.
Concrete is not somewhere anyone wants to be.
Shahid was one of the 359 veterans across South Carolina facing homelessness, according to the latest National Point-in-Time Homeless Report.
I'm just thankful and grateful that I've become one that's not of that statistic now.
A new dorm at Transitions aims to bring that number down in Columbia.
28 more beds, 28 more options. That's going to help put a dent in the problem.
CEO Craig Curry says the program is providing 2 case managers, mental health services, food, addiction services, and more to each veteran. Each veteran will be able to stay for around 3 months.
In the end, you really want to place people into permanent housing, which is the name of the game.
Curry says they've already filled half the beds and expect to be at capacity soon. He adds it's being paid for under a Department of Veteran Affairs funded program.
We've had a population of homeless veterans here always, but now with these new contract beds, we'll be able to better care for them.
Next week, Shahid is moving into his own place, thanks to a VA subsidized housing program.
I have some pretty good irons in the fire going for myself here, and
Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying this information, but just in case if you was wondering, how could you get more one-on-one coaching just like this? First of all, you can ask just by typing it in the chat, or you can visit forstonconsultants.com/IMB. Again, the IMB stands for ILF Mastery Blueprint. So again, if you want one-on-one coaching, let us know. This is exactly what we do. And again, don't spend all your time in this room today without asking questions. As you see, we're giving out a lot of great information. So make sure you ask your questions just to make sure that you fully understand it. And then also don't forget, we give you guys a free strategy call. So we want you to watch our webinar. That's it. Also at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, but also soak up a lot of this information that we're giving you guys on YouTube, and then schedule a free strategy call so that we can get on the phone to talk about how fast can we get you started. Let's get back to the show.